Have I told you the story about how we got our stolen puppy back? I was driving up to Lake Tahoe to meet my kids and their dad, and I got the most heartbreaking call from my daughter. Mom, somebody stole Fuki. What? What happened? Leah proceeded to tell me about how they were at a beach at Lake Tahoe, and she and her dad were out on the paddleboard, and Adam was on the beach with Fuki when Fuki suddenly made a beeline back for the parking lot. And it was a long way back to the parking lot. It wasn't just right there. It was like a quarter of a mile. And Adam went running after her. And by the time he got to the parking lot, she was nowhere in sight. And there were some people there, and he asked them, hey, have you seen a little dog? Now, Fuki is an adorable Shiba Inu. She kind of looks like a fox, just cute as a button. And the people were like, oh my gosh, we just saw a little red sedan pick her up and drive off. Oh, heartbreaking. So I got off the phone and I continued my drive up there, and I just felt this lump in my stomach. I felt sick. I'm like, oh, how could this happen? And, Alan's going to be so mad at Adam, and this is just a horrible situation. And I was feeling crappy for a few minutes. And then I had the thought, wait a minute, I don't want to feel like this. And if I continue to feel this way, I just started studying law of attraction. And I knew that you attract what you're feeling. And I thought, dang it, if I just stay in this sick feeling of Fuki is lost, then Fuki will continue to be lost. What we've got to do is try to get into the feeling of what it would be like to get her back. And so I continued my drive. I still had a little ways to go. And I just started thinking about, oh, how great it would be if they called me back. Oh, we got a phone call. We got her back. And, I could feel my energy uplift. And, I just started brainstorming the ways that she could come back. Well, when I arrived and I finally met up with them, that was the most depressed crew I've ever seen. They were sitting in the car at a gas station looking so incredibly sad. They had done everything they could think of to do. They had put flyers up. They had started blowing up social media. They'd contacted the police. They contacted the local animal shelter. They'd been taking advice for what to do. They continued looking. They continued going back to the parking lot where this had happened. They even continued searching the beach and the pathway between the beach and the parking lot. They had pretty much done everything that they could think to do. And they were sitting in the car, just really, really sad. And I didn't know how they were going to take this, but I went up to the window and I said, okay, you guys have done everything you can think of, right? Like, the only thing that's left to do is we've got to get ourselves into the feeling of what it would be like to get her back. Now, normally a statement like this would have kind of gotten an eye roll from them, but I think they were desperate and they were willing to try anything. And so we went to get some food, and we sat around the table and we just started brainstorming ways that she could come back to us and telling stories. And we took turns. And, what if someone drives up in the parking lot? Or what if somebody calls right now, or we see her and, somebody calls the number on the tag. And, or what if sometime down the road, somebody sees a flyer and we get her back? What would that feel like to get her back? And so we did that all through dinner. And then we decided to go back, even though it was dark. We went back to the parking lot. We got our flashlights out. We started walking down the path, and we just imagined what it would be like if she jumped out of the bushes. Oh, she wasn't taken after all. She's been here the whole time. Fuki, there you are. And you can just, when you do that, you can feel the energy of that feeling. So we stayed there for a while, looked around, walked to the beach, came back up, and we decided, okay, it's time to head back to the campground. And this was like 9:30, 10 p.m. at night. And I still had my car, so I was driving behind Alan's truck, and we're halfway back to the campsite when all of a sudden his brake lights go on out of nowhere, and he pulls over to the side of the road. So I put my brakes on and I pulled over to the side of the road. I'm sitting there waiting. What's going on? What's going on? Finally, one of the kids jumped out of the truck and came to my car and said, "Mom, the people who have Fuki just called us." And sure enough, these people had picked her up out of the parking lot, and they had driven to another state. They'd driven an hour and a half away, and they had her all this time, but they decided to call. And, you know, we'll never know what motivated them to call. And when we got there to pick her up, they said, "Oh, we found her in the parking lot and we wanted to protect her from getting hit." And, you know, I told Alan before, just let them be the heroes. Whatever happened, we're getting her back. That's the important thing to focus on. So the reason I love to tell this story is that it can be applied to anything in your life. It's a reminder that if you stay in the feeling of whatever it is, you're going to attract things that match the feeling that you're in. So you've got to find ways to get into the feeling of what you want rather than the feeling of not having that thing that you want. This is the way that we can attract miracles into our lives. And getting Fuki back, certainly I put in the miracle category, and we did it intentionally. And I love to share this story because it's a way that you can get pretty much anything that you want using the law of attraction. What you focus on, you attract to you. So please leave me some comments, what you think of this story, and I'll catch you on the next video. This is signing out, Jenny from JennyHughesHealing.com.